The Oracle of Luna is a podcast with me, Bridget Engels, as your host. Here we have conversations with real live, present-day goddesses who are actively and courageously doing their magical work in the world. Each episode is a bewitching journey with relevant discussions on topics such as Wiccan pagan spirituality, writing, culture, magical practices, art, ritual, and the craft in its many forms. My first podcast is with leader of the Women of the Goddess, author, dear friend, and mentor, Janice Van Cleve. Welcome, Janice.
Thank you for having me, Bridget.
Okay, so let's get started. I have a few questions for you. And the first one is, what made you choose Wicca for your spiritual life?
Well, I used to be a Roman Catholic and a true believer. And I was a member of Dignity, which is the Catholic gay and lesbian organization. But when the Nazi Pope kicked us out, I had to make a choice between faith or integrity. And I chose my integrity. So I took a vacation from all religion for about 6 months. But spirituality is very important to me. And a girlfriend said, "Hey, there's a gathering of Wiccans over here. You want to come with me next Sunday?" And I said, "Sure." And when we walked in, I saw these women sitting around an altar. And I kid you not, my first reaction was, uh-oh, the nuns really aren't going to like this. But there were candles, communion, incense, collection plate, same old, same old. And besides, they were nice people. And so I've been studying and working with them and finally became a priestess. And I really, really appreciate Wicca because it makes sense.
Yes.
It's not believing in some, authoritarian pope or 72 virgins up in the sky or anything like that. It really makes sense, every part of it.
Yes. And internally as well as externally.
Yes, yes. Wiccans don't have to believe in a bunch of stuff that for which there's no proof. Wicca is probably the most scientific religion because it is based on experience. It's based on experiment. When we try something and it doesn't work, well, then we try something else.
Right. Right. And it's I have to say also as a priestess myself that it's very relevant and it takes us on a journey where we are not expecting to be a spectator or to get our spirituality from a source outside of ourselves.
Right. And that's a big one. Our deities are not supernatural, they are natural. And we are really a religion of nature.
Right. And, as a priestess who honor the Sabbats, the Wheel of the Year, can you talk a little bit about the Wheel of the Year and how Women of the Goddess observes the Sabbats?
Yes. First, I might introduce the Women of the Goddess Circle. We are a feminist pagan community of women in the Dianic tradition of Wicca. We mark the 8 Sabbats of the year in ritual with like-minded adult women. And the Wheel of the Year replicates the natural seasons of the year. We start out in the dark time with winter solstice. And of course, we do not get all worried that, oh, will the sun ever come back? No, come on. It comes back every year. We know that. What we do is absorb the lessons of the dark time. We don't get all frenzied and go to all these parties and gift giving and running up our Visa cards. It's a time of quiet. Nature is quiet and we're quiet.
Yes.
And then we come to Candlemas, where we make our decisions and our dedications for what the next year is going to bring. Then there's spring equinox and Beltane and summer solstice. All of these growing the same way nature is growing.
Yes.
And then, of course, when we come down on the other side, we have Lammas and Mabon and finally Samhain, when we appreciate death. We dump our baggage. You know, we have this modern phenomenon of born again people.
Uh-huh.
We get to be born again every year.
Yeah. Every month, actually, when the moon phases. But I agree. It's a beautiful way to create balance and wholeness by echoing the seasons of the year. All right. Well, I think that's a beautiful explanation. I was wondering, who has helped you the most on your spiritual journey? Do you have any outstanding influences on your spirituality?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Of people, there are many, many wonderful Wiccans here in the Seattle area.
Yes.
We are very lucky to live in this area. And as I have discovered over the last 30 years, actually, that I've been doing this, golly, that's a long time. Anyway, there are more pagans in the Pacific Northwest than there are Catholics.
Yeah. That's interesting statistic.
But yes, there are many, many people. The founder of the Women of the Goddess Circle back in 1990, Charmel, she was a great teacher. And then next was Undine, and Undine was a very compassionate teacher. And then about the year 2000, I started leading the circle, and we changed our organization a little bit. We are not a coven. We're not a grove. We are a circle, an open circle. We welcome all adult women over 18 of good intent and who sincerely subscribe to our purpose. And our purpose is very good rituals and continued learning.
Right.
We don't pretend to have all the answers. And so we encourage sisters who come to us to continue learning. And if they find out something that we have not experienced or known before, bring it back to us. Let's learn.
Right. So Janice, did the earlier the people that influence you the most, do they subscribe to the same philosophy as you?
We each make our own way in Wicca. Wicca is not some big book with an inquisition standing behind it to make sure that you do exactly what's been told there.
Right.
Some pagan groups are a little bit more not dogmatic, but a little more strict. We expect all the women who come to our circle to be adults, to be able to learn on their own. We can provide a bunch of things, and when they have, if they find that our circle has pretty much most of what they're looking for, they stay.
Yes.
If they're looking for a little bit more or looking for something else, like in your case, you were very much associated with the moon cycles, and that was great because, frankly, it is too much work for one circle to do all the Sabbaths and all the moons and still have, a job and pay the bills.
Right. And people, I will point out that with the Women of the Goddess rituals, as well as my own Circle of Luna rituals, we at all actively participate in the ritual. It's not a spectator sport type of thing where one or two priestesses do all the work. No, everybody participates fully in a non-hierarchical manner, and I think that's what makes Women of the Goddess very special.
Yeah, we try to do that for two. Well, that gets to be. I won't put a number on it, but for a number of reasons.
Yeah.
One, not all of us are available each time.
Right.
So if everybody is participating in and taking a hand in all parts, they can fill in. They can take the place. It's cross training.
Sure. Exactly.
The other thing is everybody brings their own special personal energy.
Yes.
And
magic.
That's what makes it rich and a wonderful experience.
Yes. Yeah. It truly weaves the web, in my opinion. And that's what creates a powerful ritual, is when everybody is bringing their special energy and creating a whole, to create the whole picture, the whole piece, the whole container. And that's what makes a ritual powerful, in my opinion.
Right. And we encourage people to come to the planning meeting ahead of time. We get together. Now we do it on Zoom, but we get together about 2 weeks in advance and check in with people. See, okay, what's going on in your life now? We are not medieval peasants. And so we don't talk about shearing the sheep, and we don't talk about harvesting the grain, okay?
Right.
We're urban pagans living in this time. We got bills to pay. We've got jobs. We're
active in the community.
Yeah, there's all kinds of things going on. Yeah. That is energy that already exists. Sure. So we gather that energy and use that in our intentions and use that in our motives for the ritual itself.
Yes,
because
which makes it relevant.
The Sabbats are going to happen whether we get together or not, basically.
Yeah.
We use them to, like a surfboard, we put our energy and put our intentions riding that wave, and gives it extra push for the next season.
Yeah, and it connects us not only to the seasons but to each other, and I think that ripples out to the community and to the world at large for a very healing, powerful, psychological, spiritual, and physical experience.
Right, and when everybody contributes, whether they're a long-term member or just brand new, when they all contribute to the planning, then they all have an investment in the ritual.
Right, which makes it more powerful when everybody's fully in the game, basically. All right, well, I think that's a really great synopsis of Wicca and your philosophy and your outlook on your circle as well as Wicca. I do want to ask you, you are also a very prolific writer who's written many articles and books on many diverse topics. What inspires you to write, Janice?
Well, I just published a book called Brain Farts. And the first story in there. Brain farts, yes. And the first story, it's an anthology of 57 of my best stories over the last 20 years.
Oh,
but the inspiration for writing, one of the other writers that I know asked that question. They said, "Why do we write?" It's because we have to.
Yes.
If a musician has to play music, a writer has to write. And so I incorporated into 4 goddesses. There's the goddess Deadlina. She is the inspiration for most writing. You got to meet the deadline.
Yeah.
There's the goddess Fascinata, where you're just fascinated about the subject and you have to write. And that's the only way you can experience it, is to write it. The third goddess is Audiencia. Oh, Janice, we would really love to have another story. Okay, gotta write another story. But the most powerful one is Out of My Way Up. You're just fingers on a keyboard. She's the one doing the writing.
Yeah, inspired.
A lot of times, I'll be writing. I don't know how the story's going to end. I'm just I'm just putting it in there.
Yeah, and I mean, speaking for myself, I'm also an author. I get in the zone, and when we are in the zone, we meet our muse.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And being inspired is part of spirituality, I believe, and being creatively connected is, like you said, is a connection to the goddess.
Right. I've got a lot of articles out on Witchvox. That's www.witchvox.org.
Is that still a live website? I know they shut down for a little bit.
They shut down, but I can still get in there every once in a while.
Okay.
Some of my stories. That's another book that's waiting to be written. Is to collect those stories too.
Yeah.
The spirituality stories and put them in a book. But now that we can self-publish, it is so easy.
Yes, it's wonderful. It's revolutionary, actually. So you don't have to wait around for a publisher to finally accept you and your work. It's do it yourself and get it out there. It's
That's
amazing.
right.
It's amazing.
That's right. No, I got my master's in medieval history, and 3,000 years ago.
Yeah.
And then I had to get a real job, and so
Yeah.
and so
like most of us, we work jobs. We're witches, but we work.
But after I retired, I could engage my writing completely, and I became an archaeologist. And I started working with the Maya in Central America. And I've got many books out there on them. And that website is http://Mayas, MAYAS.doodlekit.com.
Okay.
And there's a whole list of my books out there.
Okay. And what are some titles about of your Mayan books?
Well, one I'm working on right now. Well, the first two were biographies, biographical novels.
Okay.
18 Rabbit. I figured anybody that's got a name of 18 Rabbit should have a book about them.
Yeah.
And then the founder, Yashkuk Mo, of the Mayan city of Copan. And those are entertaining and fun. But as a good archaeologist, I also write very dull stuff too, like the kings of Copan in their own words, where I took all of the inscriptions that we've gotten our hands on and translated them, and then put them in a book. This is them speaking to us.
Okay. And you traveled as well.
Yes. Yes, I indulge myself through traveling. The only place I haven't been is Australia.
Okay. But you've
been in the Congo.
Been a worldwide traveler, which is amazing.
Yep. I've been in Lake Baikal, swimming in Lake Baikal, kayaking in Antarctica, hiking on Greenland.
Wow.
I did, when I visited Egypt, I got inside one of the pyramids, got down into the very bottom, and got to lay on the sepulcher itself.
What a great life experience.
It is. It is.
Wonderful.
But then I was all alone. I had to wait for a German tourist to come down and take my picture.
Yeah.
But
you're glad that they came down, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to stay in there overnight.
Right.
And I also am engaged in a language program in Europe where I go to either Spain or Germany and work in an English immersion week with students.
Teaching English.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's
which
great.
is a lot of fun.
Yeah. And do you get paid for that room and board type thing?
Just the room and board,
Yeah.
and the opportunity to actually meet people. I mean, you can get a postcard with the Eiffel Tower on it,
Yeah.
but
Sure.
to actually engage with the people who live there and get into their lives and their work, and that is really rewarding.
Yeah. Because you really immerse yourself in the culture, and I
Hmm.
believe we're all global citizens.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. And this spaceship is really kind of small.
Yes.
So, um, but
Okay.
I also engage in other other pagan activities besides my circle,
Okay.
because I encourage everybody else to too, because everybody's got something to offer.
Yeah.
And so I go to Spring Mysteries every year. This is the our pagan celebration
Mm-hmm.
on the celebrating the Demeter Kori myth.
Okay.
4 days, 300 pagans.
And who puts that on? Puts that
That
together?
was Aquarium Tabernacle Church,
Okay.
and this year they did it on Zoom, which is kind of daunting. No,
Yeah.
it's not kind of daunting; it's really daunting. But they
Yeah.
did a terrific job.
Good.
And I also go to Gnostic Mass with the Horizon Lodge, um, and they're doing it on Facebook now, which I refuse to get on, so I'm not participating in that right now.
Yeah.
But
With
you
COVID
know,
pandemic, it's making it so challenging for so many groups and covens and circles. But I believe
mhm.
that we're all transitioning with the times and doing our best to keep things alive.
Well, it teaches us.
Yeah.
We get in a rut when we're doing all the same kind of thing the same way, and then when that's blocked, we have to find new and creative ways to express our religion, to express our love, to express our energy. And I might mention right here the website, because I encourage everybody uh, who's enjoying the podcast to come to our website. It is
Okay, Janice, I
http.
just wanted to mention we wanted to move on. I wanted to move on to one of my last questions was
Oh, sure.
how do you see Wicca evolving in the future? And
Hmm.
you know, we were talking about how COVID has been hugely influencing the Wiccan community. Um, but other than maybe, eventually we're going to come out of this time. How do you see Wicca evolving in the future?
Well, it's been something that we've seen ever since the 60s and keep growing from there. Paganism, whether it's Wicca or Assertu or any of the other expressions of pagan natural religion,
Hmm.
is the fastest growing religion in the world.
Yes, it is.
And we see more and more people going there. It's like the Renaissance.
Yeah,
Oh, we can think for ourselves.
right. We can
Oh,
create.
we can create our own religion.
Yes,
Oh, we can experience nature and science and
magic.
spirituality in
Hmm.
our own way. And it's much richer that way.
And more
Um,
relevant.
mhm. And it's in tune with the seasons and with nature
Yes,
and with
right. We're not
all
separate from
existence.
nature. Hmm.
And as we enter now into the Samhain, into dark time of the year, um, it teaches us also that, oh no, the dark is not bad. The
Right.
dark has its lessons to teach us too.
That's right. Dark is doing the shadow work and meeting the shadow, and the darkness within makes us appreciate the light and the lighter parts of ourselves. There's a definite balance between light and dark in each of us, and
Hmm.
also in all the seasons, in every life cycle, really.
Yes, yes. And this repeated cycle of the seasons every year, experiencing each one of them new, um, is richly rewarding.
Yes,
Um,
and balancing.
Yeah, the Catholics have confession. We've got Samhain.
Right. Samhain, how does Women of the Goddess typically, without COVID, how do they usually celebrate Samhain? I know last year and the years before, when I've attended, we usually go into the dark, into the void, uh, into the underworld. Um, can you just, explain a little briefly, a little bit about
Sure,
a typical Samhain ritual?
sure. Um, we meet. Uh, we meet in silence. Everybody hooded and cloaked, and one at a time, a gatekeeper takes each woman and sends her down into the underworld. Along the way, she is challenged by two or three goddesses, and then enters the underworld, which in the last couple of years at my house is the garage
Yeah.
downstairs,
And it's cold
and
after dark down
it's
there.
it's all covered in black
Yes.
all the way around, with
Yep.
just an altar in the center with one candle on it, chairs around the outside, and an altar in the corner for Esmeralda. Esmeralda is a skull. Anyway,
To honor the dead,
to
basically.
honor the dead, right? And what we do is allow ourselves to release, to let go, and even let go of life itself so that we are open to whatever message the goddess wishes to inspire us with during the dark time of the year. It really is such a relief, such a liberating experience to be able to just, okay, that was last year, and I screwed up this and I screwed up that, but I can let it go.
Yeah.
And I got cross-threaded with this person, and I didn't really treat that person very well. I have the opportunity now to let that go and improve.
Yeah. And
I can renew myself. You
sure.
can't renew yourself if you're still holding on to the old self.
Right. You can't rebirth, basically.
Yeah, yeah. And it's all about life, death, and rebirth. And one of my books is called Dandelion, and it's everything you wanted to know about life, death, and rebirth.
Oh, okay. Is that a children's book, by the way?
Oh, yes, it's a
Okay.
children's book for adults.
Right. Okay. I remember reading it a while ago. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, I believe Samhain has been totally commercialized and made into kind of just a goth makeup and fashion kind of statement.
Hmm.
It's really about the deep connection to death, ancestors, and release, like you were talking about, so that we can rebirth and transform into new ways and new aspects of ourselves. It's a very deep religious, internal, spiritual experience. Which I believe Women of the Goddess and certainly Circle of Luna also celebrate, as well as many other Seattle Wiccan communities and circles. But I do think that it's very important to honor death as well as life, and doing a Samhain, leading a Samhain ritual is deeply fulfilling, and participating in a Women of the Goddess ritual at Samhain is also, I have to say,
Hmm.
very, very powerful.
It is indeed. It
Yes.
is indeed. Yeah, there's so much that's been commercialized, which
Yeah.
is, I think, is why people are so hungry for something that makes sense.
Yes. People want connection to myth and mystery and magic
And nature.
and nature, to feel connected, and
Hmm.
that's where Wicca comes in, and pagan practices. So I wanted to ask you one last question before we move on: is what do you think that's most hopeful to you about the Seattle Wiccan community?
I think the hopeful thing um, is the um, tolerance and respect that everybody shows everybody else. I remember being in ritual with you
Mm-hmm.
out at Golden Gardens
Yeah.
on the sand, on the beach.
Yes,
We
I
were
remember it was summer
15,
solstice.
yeah, we were 15 feet from other people sunbathing and picnicking and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They let us do our thing. We let them do their thing. Everybody was happy.
Yeah. Definitely a tolerant uh, area here, as well as in San Francisco. I'm originally from San Francisco. It's the same type of
Hmm.
thing.
Hmm.
People honor and respect each other's spirituality, and that's very encouraging.
Well, I think a lot of people here in the Pacific Northwest are are more connected to nature.
Yeah,
There's a lot of hikers out here.
yeah,
There's a lot of people who are aware of the rain, like most of the time.
yeah. 3
Um,
months of the year, right?
People are concerned about the wildfires and they're concerned about climate change.
Yes,
And to see people moving spiritual energy in concert with nature is really an experience that they all appreciate.
yeah, yeah, and connection to the nature spirits is super important and fulfilling. And I agree. There's a lot of hikers and kayakers and mountaineering type people here in the Northwest. So the connection to nature is very prevalent in this area.
And have you noticed that a lot of nonprofits around here are starting out their meetings acknowledging that we are on Native American soil.
Yes, yes, especially the
That's
last
something
couple
that's
of
just
years.
started in the last couple of years, and it's
Right.
just really powerful.
It is powerful as the old foundations are crumbling and the new is coming through, but the old has to transform. And one of the things that's transforming is the old outlook philosophy that the white man came and pretty much took over, and we honor all the like Columbus and uh, explorers, but they actually what they did was exploit and plunder and
Hmm.
rape and kill. So we don't honor that anymore. We're on sacred. Um, Usually, I guess I'm on the Duwamish sacred. I guess sacred land. I believe.
Uh-huh. Well, one of the things is in Wicca, we are in harmony with nature instead of having a book that tells us we are put here to dominate nature.
Right. It's about respect, not exploitation.
Yes, exactly.
And I believe that reverberates through all paganism and Wicca is the idea, the concept of respect of nature and respect of uh, us as human beings in conjunction with nature and spirit. So yeah, very powerful energy. Um, all right. Well, I think uh, uh, Women of the Goddess here has been marking the Sabbat for 30 years, which is quite an achievement. How do you feel about that, Janice?
I feel very good about that actually because of the cross training,
Yeah,
because of our decentralization, and because of our structure. We have uh, institutionalized the functions of the Women of the Goddess Circle instead of personalize them. So we don't have somebody as the we don't have a high priestess. We don't have any hierarchy per
right.
se. We elect facilitators to run things every year,
Mm-hmm.
but they run it democratically,
Right,
and we change around so that different members take that role in different years.
right. And
And that way,
that really
when I'm
contributes to
when
the
I'm
success.
remember there was one Samhain way back when that while the sisters are celebrating in circle here, I was celebrating in Aswan, Egypt.
Yeah. We're energetically contributing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's really contributes to the success and longevity is the fact that everybody's a priestess. There's no,
Hmm.
super hierarchy that dominates. We're all contributing. Priestesses all, we are all, and I believe that really has contributed to the longevity of your circle.
Yeah, and people develop in and of themselves, and as people show new talents and new skills, some of them, you know, take on more and more. Others decide that, hey, I've got enough here. Now I can
Yeah.
go start my own circle.
Right. Like, well, which is what I did.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
um,
indeed.
yeah, and I feel like personally, Wicca is a grassroots movement. It's you start it, you do it, you combine your energies, and it grows and it builds power and energy, and it's like a snowball effect, really,
Hmm.
and in
Well,
an organic
yeah,
way.
organic. Yes,
Hmm.
because it's moving in harmony with nature. Then, since if you erase nature, you're going to erase all the people. Um, so we're all here, and
Right.
it grows with nature.
Yes. Um, all right. Well, just to kind of wrap things up, I want to thank you for being here. And, really, it's always a pleasure talking with you. And it was great hearing about your philosophy, your background, your writings. Do you have any other things you want to bring up?
I want to make sure that in this podcast that we mention the Women of the Goddess website.
Yes. What is that, Janice?
It's http:// WOTG, Women of the Goddess, .doodlekit.com.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Janice, and always a pleasure talking with you. And I'm excited to post this first podcast, the Oracle of Luna. And blessed be. Have a wonderful
Blessed be to
hour.
you too.
Yes, very well. Thank you, and
Yeah.
keep on witching.
Keep on wicking. Very neat.
All right.
Bye bye.
Signing off. Bye bye.